Hello everybody and welcome back to another video of Heroes of the Storm. Today we're going to be playing some Yrel. It was recently asked in one of my comments to play a game of Yrel and kind of explain how to play her a little bit, because the person was saying that they felt like she had low impact, no damage, and burned through her mana quickly. And a lot of that has some truth to it. Let me go ahead and talk about some pros and cons of this hero quickly before we jump into the game. So, pros. She is very tanky. If you need a bruiser to jump in front of the red team and hit some shots, be tanking those shots, she's your lady. On top of that, she has good self-sustain. So she's able to trade favorably into heroes without self-sustain and heal out of combat, or even inside of combat, and kind of win the fight that way. Inside of fights, she's fantastic at disrupting the backline, whether that's using her W to stun heroes and displace heroes, or using talents to reduce enemy heroes' damage output. She can do all kinds of those things. And then, finally, for another pro, she's really good at point control. Especially after you hit level 10, you can pick up your Sacred Ground, which costs no mana, by the way, so there's a mana problem a little bit gone, and absolutely control almost anything inside of that Sacred Ground. However, we got to talk about her cons. So Yrel does have quite a few cons, and they're pretty big and glaring. The number one thing that I think of when I'm thinking of Yrel is she is slow. A super slow hero. Because all of her abilities have a wind up, her basic attacks come out very slowly, and her movement is really subpar at best, making her very easy to get kited and highly predictable hero. Another thing that she kind of lacks is an engage. You know, she has an engage, but it's really a weak engage. And on top of that, her disengage is equally as poo-poo, where she kind of needs talents if she wants to be able to run away from a fight with good enough effectiveness. And lastly, as far as bruisers go, you want your bruisers to be controlling the lane. She has mediocre wave clear at best. So, we're going to go and hop into the game and talk a lot about how to make this hero work, bearing in mind these pros and cons, strengths and weaknesses, while we're inside of the game, playing to our strengths and trying to avoid our weaknesses, and hopefully make it out alive. So let's hop into the game and hopefully have some fun. Alright, and we find ourselves on the Garden Terror today. And first thing we're going to do is talk about our Skinergy. I got this beautiful clown, Harley Quinn, Yrel skin, and to go with it, I know it doesn't match, but it kind of does. We got the 6.5 golden horse, which the reason it kind of matches is because we're a freaking clown. They're meant to not match. So, and this this mount's really beautiful, but nothing matches it. So I like how the little gold trails behind it. Anyways, this is meant to be more of a learning video. So first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna look at both teams and figure out, do we need to be disrupting the enemy team's backline or tanking the enemy team's front line? And against that one, probably disrupting the backline is more so what we're going to want to do. I like going for Maraud's Insight at level 1. I personally think it's one of the only ones that I can go for. We're going to dive in with my ally here and boop back this enemy, waiting for my tanks engage and weave in my auto attacks here. And then, watch this, we're going to just go leave. No reason to keep fighting there, because at like the 30-second mark, minions are crashing. And Yrel has a minorly a way to speed up her wave clear. So you want to auto attack a minion, then use your E, auto attack another backline minion, and power your trait on your Q. Then you auto attack that last minion, charge up your W, and you clear out the wave pretty quickly. Trying to gain that XP as heroes are dying in middle, and now we can look for a rotate here. We're being as active as possible despite not having a super active hero. We're not even going to look for the kill. I just want to clear out the minions. That's good enough for me. Another thing that Yrel lacks severely is mana. You can see I'm already down to 75% of my mana. So because of that, you want to be picking up as many regen globes as often as possible. I'm going to starve that hero out of both of them. Look at my health go up and my mana go up compared to hers. It's fantastic. Now, because we have a very weak disengage, we're not going to overextend if we're seeing red team on the map anywhere. Or if they're missing, rather. Use this to clear that minion wave out a little bit more. What Maraud's Insight is doing is after we use an ability to hit an enemy hero, that our next basic attack is going to heal us for a little bit. And because of that, we're able to sustain inside of the lane much more easily. Because Yrel is meant to be a lane controlling hero. Oh, I'm gonna try. I was gonna try to save my ally there, but she didn't even need my help. So we'll rotate top lane. Clear out that minion wave that's accumulated. At level 4, you gotta kind of pick and choose what you think you're gonna need. In this game, Gift of the Naru is gonna look great on my hero. See, we can't body block her. I think we got, yeah, both globes again. Now, heroes are missing for red team. Yep, so we're just gonna back out. I was almost re-engaged there for a second, but then the Kira showed up. Now, because of that, that means there's less heroes in this fight. Look, their tank's still down there. We just killed an enemy. We're going to go right for this backline. Ping that we're on our way for my allies. Kira is rotating in, but I don't even care that much. We're going to try to land a big... Stun her out. Auto attack for the kill. We used our trait to empower our ability to stun. Jumping in on that weak backline again, which my team did such a good job of peppering down. We're going to go right back to soaking. There's no reason for me to do anything now but soak, because friendly team is surely going to get this objective, and we can continue on. Gift of the Naru, though, whenever we use our trait, which, by the way, if you don't know what it does, every 8 seconds, you're going to get the ability to empower your next ability, which all your abilities need charged up. Now it just is instantly fully charged. And additionally, it's going to... Hold on. It's going to remove the mana cost. Me fighting here is probably not advantageous because they can just heal up of all of it. So we're going to wait to use our abilities to clear out the minion wave. Who's been missing for a while? I feel like heroes have been missing for a while, so we're going to go check out this camp. Okay, they were going for the other camp instead. We'll get down here for my ally. And level 7 and level 16 are your biggest power spikes. And this is where you have to decide how you want to build your hero. Do you want to be a tanky fiend for your allies? Poor fella. Or do you want to have damage? Do you want to have better wave clear? Now, my team has fantastic wave clear in this particular match, so we're not going to go Divine Steed. We don't need that. As far as the damage goes, I kind of think that red team can kite me so much that my heroic damage might not even be worth it. So I'm kind of leaning towards Righteous Momentum, which is probably the best talent at this tier, just period. Also, we're going to auto-attack the backline. E, auto-attack, and power Q. One more auto, and that pretty much clears out those minions really easily. Should have been picking up that globe, but I'm not even sure if we're able to fight for this. Asmo Dunk inbound, please. Oh, he doesn't go for the stall. So we'll just keep rotating and soaking. You can see my soak is top in the game, and this is what's keeping us even on XP currently. We do have a kill up on red team, but it's mainly that XP that we've been contributing to keep us in this game. I need to be picking a level 4 talent, though, or level 7 talent. Let's just go with Righteous Momentum. So this is going to make our W grant us movement speed whenever we're charging it up. This is how you have a disengage now. So if we had to run from someone, we're able to. Look for something with my allies here. Unfortunately, red team's healer has shown up to party. We'll just knock her around a little bit. Trying to get some auto attacks off wherever possible. I think that's all I'm getting out of that fight, so we're going to go soak another wave. See how you're kind of doing this hit and run tactic? And we're staying full on mana because we're grabbing these globes in between the fights. Thankfully, friendly team is not dying, because unfortunately, sometimes teams will just death ball, and that's when stuff goes really haywire. We're going to go for this building here before the objective spawns in. Grab the little globe. Hopefully, my tank can corral these minions. Come on now. There he goes. So he's attacking all of them, so I can get a free cap here. You know, if we didn't get stalled. As far as your level 10s go, both are good. Ardent Defender is less good, in my opinion, personally. And you should probably be going Sacred Ground in most of your games. That's what I'm going to do in this particular game. I could fight this hero. Oh, yeah, I probably should, actually. We have our level 10 advantage, and I have good point control, if you remember. Boop that hero off of the point, use our E, charge it up as we're kind of running away. Unfortunately, we got stunned, which is a big weakness of our hero. Well, let's see if we can get in this back line and disrupt. Smack him into my team. Use my Sacred Ground because I will be immortal inside of this. Nearly. I didn't hear no bell. We're just kind of jumping in and out, using that movement speed to scuttle out of there. Heal up off of our Q. Grab a globe so we're still full on mana. Kind of want to keep fighting them. A lot of damage for us. Unfortunately, good peels by red team. Yeah, that healer is causing some mayhem. Use our Q empowered to heal ourselves. Grab this and... W? Not quite enough. I'm going to just use my ult again because it's a 25-second cooldown. And costs no mana. There's almost zero reason that you should not be using this. We can use it to just take towers. We can live under this tower as long as we want, for the most part. And our disruption in the backline has been very good. And we haven't really dropped low on HP either. There is a fight going on, which friendly team might honestly win, which would be wild. We got the building here. We're grabbing that XP. Continue to try and grow our lead mildly. I think we can fight here as long as I fight inside of my sacred ground. I doubt we'll get another stall out there unless it's from our puppy. Book these things into our tower's range. Use our W because it grants us that move speed to get in on top of their healer. There's that big boost in armor for myself. A little bit disappointed with how I used my ult here because I'm barely outside of the range of it. Really nice ult by my ally, though. We're going to jump back in on top of red team, hoping to get more done than I did. Boop that Tracer as we try to get on top of her. One more auto will do the trick. It looks like we get that kill. I got mildly stunned there. We're going to run around here. Boop this hero back. We'll use my ult as well because the cooldown is nothing. Run back here. Boop them back into my team. One more auto, please. Nicely done. As far as our level 13 talent goes, this is where you decide, do you want more damage? Or do I need to slow down? This is kind of like your disruption. Do you need more damage? Do you need to or how do you need to disrupt red team? For me, I think we're going to reduce their damage. Just a flat rated, reduce their heroic damage. So if our Q is fully charged whenever we use it, and all enemy heroes hit inside of its range, will deal 40% less damage for 3 seconds. And for the most part, I use my trait to empower my Q. That's pretty much how I do this almost every time. Activate my ult here. I really don't want to get hit by this, but truthfully, this hero is in grave danger if she's not careful. See us just continuing to pummel in this backline, making space for my team. We're also up a decent bit in levels. That's a really good ult by red team. Reduce that hero's damage. I have my ult back up in just 1 second now. Heal up off this auto attack from my level 1 talent. Try to mess up Nazebo. I am mildly low on mana, which concerns me just very minorly. We'll open this with the W. We have so much movement speed from our W. Use a empowered E to jump on top of him. And smack him down. Our auto attacks do hit pretty hard, so weaving those in and out is really going to be impactful inside these fights. You can see my heroic damage is decent. That soak, though, that's the main thing. Whenever you're up by 3 levels, the game is already decided. Or, for the most part, already decided. Level 16 is another big power spike for you. You can either go for more disruption, you can go for more healing, or you can go for more damage. And I'll explain the builds and everything at the end of the video, because I haven't done a great job of explaining it in this game. But in this game in particular, we've been having a lot of good W's, so I think Templar's Verdict is going to be our choice here. This is going to make it so my W, when charged up the full way, is going to reduce enemy heroes... Oh, does it even have to be charged up the full way? I don't think it has to be charged up the full way. But it's going to reduce enemy heroes' armor by 15% for 5 seconds, and deal 6% of their maximum HP upon hit. We're going to reduce their healer's health, and I'm going to just go tank the tower for my team, and we're going to live here now. There's not a lot that they can do about it either. Want to try to get another trait up because that's going to heal my ally. Minorly, but nonetheless, it is. See if we can't get on top of the Nazebo. Run around him. Boop him back into his own wall, actually. Big jump. Nice. And we're still pretty much full HP. I know that our healer's been doing a great job of healing us, but it's a lot of that is self-sustain as well. Try to disrupt them a little bit, because we are fantastic at it. Reduce their heroic damage. Use my trait here, because this is where I want to live now. Boop a bunch of them around. Hit that core. And that should be the end of the video game. Not much red team could do against me, despite them having heroes to pump out damage. You see, my heroic damage was pretty dang solid. That soak, cannot forget about the soak. And the disruption that we had in the backline was really an issue for red team. So let's go ahead and hop out of here so we can talk about the build and talents in more depth and detail. Like I said, her power spikes come at level 7 and level 16, so you got to be a little bit cautious before those levels. And you got to be thinking about how you want to play her. That was a pretty easy team to play into, with the sense that they didn't have a whole lot of stuns, but they had enough interrupts to be a little bit annoying. They also had, it was a good example because they had like the white main, who has something very obvious that I need to be canceling. They had the Tracer, someone who if I stun, it works out so much better for myself. As far as the build goes though, level 1, I went for Maraud's Insight in this particular game. Then at level 4, we went for Gift of the Naru, into Righteous Momentum at level 7, Sacred Ground at level 10, Alder Peacekeeper at level 13, and finally Templar's Verdict at level 16. Now let's go more in depth with these. So, level 1. There are 3 options, and all seem good. I swear to you though, Maraud's Insight just works best for me in almost every instance. Dauntless, in theory, is good if you're going up against a auto-attacking heavy team, but truthfully, remember we talked about in the beginning, you gotta decide, are you going to be tanking the front line of red team, or are you going to be disrupting their back line? Most of the time, Yrel is going to be disrupting their back line, and Dauntless does not work out when you're playing that playstyle. Maraud's Insight does. And then Light of Karabor is kind of similar in the sense of you're meant to stick on one hero and mess them up. You're meant to be in the solo lane hitting one hero, and you get more bonuses from this if you hit more than one hero. So, in my experience, Maraud's Insight is giving you more healing over time, and it's more consistent healing. You know, if your Q gets canceled with this talent, it's a big setback for Yrel. So, I like Maraud's Insight at level 1. That's what I pick in 90% of my games. Level 4, same thing as before. They're all kind of just mediocre. I mean, Aegis of Light is almost never picked by myself, but I see the potential in it. It's actually probably broken in a coordinated team comp. I'm not a coordinated team comp, but if you're playing a dive comp, just go this, and I don't see a world where you lose a team fight with all your allies having 40 armor for 5 seconds. This does not grant armor to Yrel, but she just presses her R and has 50 armor. So, big whoop. Gift of the Naru, though, is what I go in most of my games anymore, because I'm lazy. If you want to get the most potential, you're going to want to go for Hand of Freedom. It is the best talent. I just can't be bothered to use it half the time. It's only a 30-second cooldown, no mana cost. Grant an ally 30 movement speed for 3 seconds and remove all slows and roots from them. Really good at disengaging. We talked about before how Yrel lacks disengage. If you pick this at level 4, she now has a disengage, and you can be more flexible at level 7. So let's go ahead and talk about level 7. We went for Righteous Momentum. That 5% movement speed is baseline, and then it's quadrupled while you're charging up your W. This is how you're able to run away, how you're able to move in team fights a lot more easily. And one of Yrel's greatest strengths is she's a disruptor. This makes your disruption that much easier to do without sacrificing much of anything. It also brings up one of her weaknesses, which is she's slow and lacks a disengage. Now she's a little faster and has a disengage. Just press W and run away. Holy Avenger, though, is fantastic if you're in a 1v1 scenario. You know, Braxis comes to mind for me. If you're hitting these fully charged Ws and reducing the cooldown on your E, it's disgusting how many heroes you can 1v1. It's actually really a fun gameplay, and probably, in my opinion, the most fun way to play this hero. But, you know, that's all circumstances. Because if you're picking this, and you didn't go for Hand of Freedom, you will have 0 disengage for the entire game. And that's scary to me. And finally, Divine Steed is what you go if your team needs you to be double soaking. Which you should not be picking Yrel anyways if you need someone to double soak. But if you're playing quick match and you know you don't have an Azud and Zagara clearing waves for you, then Divine Steed is a very good pickup, but you're going to be less impactful inside of the fight. So it's kind of saying, hey team, I hope that you're going to be able to win the 4v4 while I outsoak their solo laner. That's kind of what it's saying. Level 10, we talked about it briefly. Sacred Ground's just the better pick almost every time. As much as Ardent Defender is fun, it is one of the most fun ultimates in the game. It's just too long of a cooldown. You know, if they made this only like 100 seconds, it might be more on par with Sacred Ground, but Sacred Ground is disgusting right now. No mana cost, 25-second cooldown. This is like a basic ability, if not better. It makes her immortal on a point control map, like we talked about before. You know, if you're fighting over a boss, if you are on Braxis or Dragonshire and you need that point to be under your control, if you are just in a fun choke, in a team fight choke, go for it. Level 13, Disruption talent tier. We went for Uldor Peacekeeper, which I talked about. Hitting enemy heroes with my Q at maximum charge that makes them deal 40% less damage for 3 seconds. And hitting that on the whole enemy team, or like even 2 or 3 of them, is really impactful inside of a fight, because it's making your team take 40% less damage from those heroes. And on top of that, you're disrupting the backline. It just makes her such an annoyance to deal with. Repentance is kind of the handicap talent that you pick when you're going Holy Avenger at level 7. It increases the slow by 25% and the duration of that slow by 3/4 of a second, which I suppose is good, but I think the other 2 talents are better, especially when you got Valen's Chosen, which is the damage talent. Hitting an enemy hero with a basic ability at maximum charge grants 10 spell power for 10 seconds, up to 30% spell power, making you super obnoxious at sticking to enemy heroes and ripping them apart, especially with that E-build. That E-build's a lot of fun, but this is meant to be the generalized Yrel. I don't know if you want to call it a guide. It's just a quick video for one of my viewers, but the E-build kind of gets outshined in the disruption factor. That's why I don't like it all the time. But if you need that damage, this talent's really good. Do not sleep on this talent at all. Level 16, your second and final power spike. You're going to want to pick any of these. Any one of them is good. And what's dictating which one you pick here is kind of affected by what talents you picked before. So typically, if you went W at 7, you're going to go for W at 16. If you went for Gift of Naru at 4, you're going to go for Divine Favor at 16. And if you went for Holy Avenger at 7, Holy Wrath combo's perfect with that. So let's actually talk about what these talents do. Templar's Verdict. Righteous Hammer, your W, reduces the armor of enemy heroes hit by 15% for 4 seconds. Really strong when you got things like Azmodan dunks or any other sort of burst damage for your team. Additionally, this is going to deal bonus damage equal to 6% of their maximum health, meaning that not only are you shredding tanks, but when you're disrupting that backline, they're going to take a little bit more burst, and it's just that flatline damage that's coming out on top of them is really nice to have. Divine Favor. Casting a basic ability reduces the cooldown of Divine Purpose, your trait, by 2.5 seconds, which this ability is what I tend to pick whenever red team is we're just kind of in like an endless battle of tickle fights, if that makes sense. Because it's going to make me more tanky and be able to survive longer. And if you're in a tickle fight, oftentimes that's what it's just going to be, is with this hero, is just who can out-tickle you, who's going to last longer in that fight. So Divine Favor is strong, but I think the other two talents here are a little bit stronger, personally. Finally, Holy Wrath is, and was, my favorite for the longest time. Probably still is. After casting a basic ability, Yrel's next basic attack splashes for 35% increased damage around the target. So now you have insta wave clears. You know, if you went for that Divine Steed at level 7, this is also going to grant you one of the best wave clears inside the entire game. And after casting this basic ability in front of the enemy team's front line, it's going to deal a lot of damage. And in the back line, it's going to deal a lot of damage because it's just a flatline increase. But especially if you're playing that tanking in the front line build, oh my gosh, this is such a good talent. I love Holy Wrath. Level 20. You can go any level 20 here. They're all good. You know, Seraphim is objectively the... Not objectively, but in my opinion, kind of the weakest one, just reading the toolbar. But because it's only a 10-second cooldown, it makes it worth it. Bubble Hearth is fantastic at pulling red team away and then basing their, you know, maybe you bought time and space for your team to get a boss, capture an objective, win the team fight because you pulled more than one hero, and you get out for free. Really strong as well. And both ult upgrades make your ult so good. You know, Hallowed Ground turns your ult that was already super obnoxious in one area to now be super obnoxious everywhere. It's fantastic. And finally, Word of Glory, increasing the amount that Yrel heals from her ult and allowing it to heal allies, turns her into kind of like a main healer. If you're able to bait red team into hitting you with a bunch of abilities when your allies are low, it turns the team fight around instantly. And I wish I had a clip of it to show you, but I don't think I do. But it's so much fun to get a big Word of Glory off. In that game that I just played, had we made it to level 20, I probably would have gone for either the upgraded Hallowed Ground or Bubble Hearth. Probably would have gone Bubble Hearth because it would have been fun that game. And I think I could have played more aggressive with it. That's another thing Bubble Hearth lets you do, is it lets you play more up in red team's face and get away with it for free. Anyways, that was as best as I could try to explain Yrel to you. I hope that answers some of your questions. If you have any more questions, let me know down in the comments. I'm happy to answer them. Thank you so much for commenting. I do read every comment. I might not reply to every comment, but I do read every single one. But that'll do it for today's video. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you did enjoy, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.